Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tessie, and today we are going to be making an on the bust bustier. If you're new to the channel, you're welcome. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly do that, and let's get right into the video. So I'm going to be drafting using my pattern paper. I'll be taking my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which gave me 7.5. I added half inch for joining allowance. From that point, I came down to my armhole line, which is 9 inches, my bust point at 11, my underbust at 14, and my half length at 17. So I went ahead to connect my lines. So guys, after connecting the line, you determine how deep you want your bust to be. For me, I'm just going to be working with 7 inches, sorry. So I'll be working with 7 inches, which I connected it into a straight line. Then I indicated my chest line, bust point, underbust, waistline, and my bust. So what I'll be doing next is placing my neck measurement. So I'm going to be using 3 by 3. So I'll go ahead now to connect my neckline. After doing that, on the shoulder area, I'll be coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Then I'll connect it to the neckline. What I'll do next is check what I have at that chest line area. So I have 8 inches divided by 2 is 4. From that point, I'll come in by half an inch. So on the chest line, I'll place my bust measurement divided by 4, which gave me 9.5. Then I'll go ahead now to curve in my armhole. After curving in my armhole, I'll place in my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, which gave me 4, but I'll be adding half inch for joining allowance. So I'll be chalking 4.5 inches all the way down. After chalking, I'll go ahead now to connect it into a straight line. So what I'll do next is to determine how deep I want my yoke to be. So for me, from the shoulder, I'll be working with 7 inches. So I chalked 7 inches and I connected it into a straight line. Then I connected my lines together, just like this. So for the dart intake on the underbust area, I'll be coming in by 1.5 on this side, then come in by 1 inch on the other side. So from this point, I'll chalk 1 inch. Right from this point, I'll chalk 1.5. So I'll connect it all the way down. So guys, from the underbust, I'll connect to the bust point, coming down by half inch. Then after doing that, at that chest line area, I'll be coming in by 1 inch on both sides. So on this side of the pattern, I came in by 1 inch. Then on this other side, I came in by 1 inch as well. So I'll go ahead now to connect to the bust point, coming up by half an inch. This will just help you eliminate pointiness around the bust point area. So after doing all of that, I'll go ahead now to take out my darts. So guys, if you're yet to subscribe, please do that and also give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. So guys, after taking out my darts, what I'll be doing next is at the neckline, you have to determine how deep you want your sweetheart to be. So for me, I'm going to be making use of 2 inches. Then from that point, I'm just going to give it a sweetheart effect, just like this. So guys, what I'll be doing next is for the yoke, I'm just going to connect from this point all the way down to the dart leg. So just connect to the dart leg and I'm going to be indicating this as my front yoke. So what I'll do next is place my body measurement and replace back the dart I took. So at the chest line area, I took 2 inches. So I'm just going to place it here. Then I just connected it together. That's connected the points together. So what I'll be doing next is at the chest line, I've placed my bust measurement divided by 4. So the dart I took at that point, I replaced it back. Then I added extra 2 inches for my sewing allowance. So what I'll do is just curve in my new armhole. Then on the underbust, I'm going to be placing my underbust measurement divided by 4. Then I'll replace back the dart I took Then I'll add extra 2 inches for my sewing allowance. At the waistline, I'll place my waist measurement divided by 4. I'll replace back the dart I took and add 2 inches for sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead now to connect my lines together. So guys, for the bust, what I'll do is from the waistline, I came down by half inch. So I came down by half inch. I connected it to the waistline. Then what I'll do next is from this point, I'm just going to slant all the way down here. So what you're doing is slanting from this point all the way down here. Now for me to slant, I'm just going to take this part, I'll place it at the other part. Hope you understand. Then after joining it together this way, that's closing the dart, I'm just going to take my ruler and then slant all the way down to the end point. So guys, after connecting my lines, I went ahead to indicate my bust point, under bust and my waistline. So what I'll be doing next is taking out the under bust bustier. So from this under bust line, I'm going to be taking it out. But for me to do that, I'll be coming down by like 0.75. You can come down by 0.75 or half an inch. So I came down by like 0.75 and I connected it into a straight line just for me to have like sewing allowance when stitching. So guys, what I'll do now is take this part out and take this part out. So just watch closely on how I cut out my patterns. So guys, after cutting out my bustier, this is what it looks like. So I'll take out the under bust. That's where we have the black marker. So go ahead, take it out. After taking it out, this is what it looks like. I'll be joining these two together. I'm just going to use my paper tape to join them together. So guys, after joining my bust, this is it as you can see. So we are done with the front pattern. We are done drafting out the front. I'm just going to be cutting out separate fabric for each of them. Then for the back, I've drafted out my pattern. As you can see, I'm going to be attaching a loop to it. So for the loop, I came in by 2 inches. So I'll be taking 2 inches off. So I'm just going to connect my 2 inches all the way down to the waistline. Then I'm going to be taking it out. I'll be taking this out. This is where my loop will be. So now for the yoke for the back, from this point, I'm just going to slant all the way down here. Then I'll indicate this as my back yoke. So guys, before cutting out my pattern, from this point, I'm just going to come up by 1 inch. Can come up by 1 inch or 0.75. Then from that point, just slant all the way down to the waistline. The reason why I'm doing this is because the back is shorter than the front and for it to just lap well. So I'll go ahead now to cut out my pattern. So guys, this is what the back looks like. As you can see, I just labeled up and down. So guys, we are done with the front and the back pattern. So I'll go ahead now to cut. So I've cut out my fabric and I've also cut out the lining piece. So I'll go ahead now to quickly join my fabrics together. So I'll place them and then stitch half inch. I'll do the same thing for this part and I'll also do the same thing for the lining piece as well. So I'll place them right side facing each other, then stitch with half inch. After stitching, this is what it looks like. As you can see, so now for the bust, this is what it looks like. For the bust, I added half inch for joining allowance at the top part. So what I'll do is join the top part of the bustier to the bust. I'm just going to place them right side facing each other and stitch with half inch. Then I'll do the same thing for the lining piece as well. So after stitching, this is what it looks like. As you can see, so guys, for the lining piece as well, this is what it looks like. So what I'll do is just add boning to my lining piece. So I'm just going to use my bias to create a boning channel. So go ahead, add your boning in any direction that you want. So guys, after attaching my boning to the lining for the yoke, that's the net, I doubled my net. So I want it doubled. So I doubled my net. So I'm just going to place it on the main fabric. So I'll go ahead now to place my net. So I'll place it, then I will stitch. You could stitch or just place your lining, then go ahead to stitch. So I'll go ahead now to stitch. After stitching for the back, I want fabric at the loop area. If you watch my videos, you know I like attaching a different fabric at that point. So I'm going to attach the fabric at that point, then attach my yoke as well. I'm not going to double the back net. I'm just going to attach the yoke. I'll place it together, then I'm going to be stitching. Then after doing that, I'll attach my back lining. I added boning to the lining, as you can see. So I'll go ahead now to stitch and turn it inside out. So guys, after doing all of that, I've attached my loop at the back, and this is what it looks like. So guys, I'll be attaching the top part of the front to the down part of the front. So I've gone ahead to cut out my skirt. That's the down part. I've attached my lining to it. So what you need to do is fold your down part into two. So you fold it into two, and you also fold the top part into two this way. Please, you need to notch the middle part of the front. After folding, place them together this way. Just watch what I'm doing. So after placing them this way, what I'll do is just chalk out what I have. So I'm just going to chalk it out this way. After chalking, I just made the lines visible. So I'll go ahead now to cut out, but do not cut on that line that you chalked. Come up by like ½ inch. So after doing that, this is what it looks like, as you can see. So what I'll do is just place the front as the top part and this together. So now to place them together, what you need to do is fold the top part. After folding, make sure to notch the middle part of the front. So notch the middle part of the front. After notching, just place the right side facing each other this way. Then you stitch all the way down to this point. Then you stitch all the way down to this point as well. So guys, after stitching, this is what it looks like. Make sure to notch after stitching in order for your fabric to sit well. Notch carefully. So guys, after notching, I'm just going to iron. Then for the back, I've joined the down part to the top part of the back. As you can see, this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to be joining the front and the back together. So I'm just going to place them right side facing each other this way. So after placing them together at the shoulder area, I'm going to be stitching with ½ inch. So I'll go ahead now to shape in my dress. Then for the sleeve, I'm sorry, I've cut out the sleeve. I have the full length. Then I cut out my armhole. Then from that point, I came down, and at this area, I just slanted a bit to have this A-line effect. So guys, I have two pieces, as you can see. This is what it looks like. Then for the shorter sleeve, I've gone ahead to draft out my shorter sleeve. I've cut it out. I'm going to be adding a paper stay to it. So I'm using this paper stay just to make it thick a bit. So I'll go ahead now to attach the paper stay to the shorter sleeve. So I'm just going to place it and then cut out what I have. So guys, if you've watched this video and you've not subscribed, please do that, and let's get right into the video. So I'm going to be ironing my stay to my main fabric. After doing that, this is what it looks like, as you can see. So I'll be attaching lining to the shorter sleeve. So I'll place my lining this way. So after placing my lining on the shorter sleeve, I'm going to stitch with ½ inch at the down part. I'll do the same thing for this part as well. Then I'll turn it inside out. So after stitching and ironing, this is what it looks like, as you can see. Then this is what the sleeve will look like after joining to the main fabric. So I'm just like showing us what the sleeve will look like. So this is it for the sleeves. So I'm going to be joining the sleeve to the main dress. So for me to join the sleeve to the main dress, to make it easier, what you need to do is attach the net sleeve first. So attach your net sleeve on the dress first. After attaching, then you attach the shorter sleeve. So guys, after attaching my sleeve to my dress, this is the final result as you can see. So I just added this fringe on the sleeve just to spice it up a bit. My client is here to come for fitting, but I got you guys covered. I made another one for another client, which she came for fitting, and this is what it looks like. You can tell in the video that she's really happy. She said she really loved the outfit. So guys, this is the back view. This is what it looks like. As you can see, hope this tutorial was helpful. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Guys, I need you guys to subscribe to the channel, like this video, drop a comment, and you can make yours and send it to me on Instagram at So With Tess. For now, I'll say bye.